takes it in overtime. Brady Tkachuk, breakaway shoots, scores!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon, and I am your host. Wednesday, June 28th is this year's National Hockey League Draft, and oh boy, do we have a hell of a draft lineup in store for the National Hockey League. Connor Bedard, Adam Fantilli, so many great talents. But I mention this now because Ottawa doesn't have essentially one draft pick in the first 4 rounds, which is why you have not seen any draft content on this channel this season. However, this Tuesday, the day before this upcoming draft, on this Tuesday I'll be putting out a video discussing what you should expect from the Sens this draft. Because look, I would love Oliver Bonk, for example, son of legendary Senator Radek Bonk. And you know, there's a lot of great talents in this draft. So I definitely would love to have some draft picks in this draft. But the reason I haven't made any content is one, obviously because we don't have any draft capital in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And 2, I don't think we're going to draft in the first, second, or third round. Because even if we get picks for Alex DeBrincat, especially since he's presumably set to be traded in the next few days, as we're expecting to get a first round pick in return for Alex DeBrincat, I don't think we use that first round pick. I think we use it not to draft a player, but instead to acquire an NHL-ready player right now, which kind of sets me up for today's video. Because with Alex DeBrincat presumably set to be traded in the next few days before the draft on Wednesday, and with Ottawa needing to fill that hole in the top 6 if the Cat is traded, should Ottawa acquire Tyler Toffoli? Now look, the former Ottawa 67 has made it known to Flames GM Craig Conroy that he's not planning on extending with the Flames. He has 1 year left on his contract with Calgary. This is a massive, massive bombshell report here, of course, from Frank Cervelli, saying that Toffoli is not interested in re-signing with Calgary. He joins a mass exodus occurring in the Calgary Flames organization right now. Hanifin, Lindholm, the list goes on. So many players want out. Tyler Toffoli is one of them, and Ottawa, absolutely, in my opinion, should pounce on this opportunity and acquire the former Ottawa 67. So with Ottawa presumably needing a new top 6 winger, should the Sens target Tyler Toffoli from the Calgary Flames? Well, let's talk about it. In 11 years in the National Hockey League, Tyler Toffoli has played in 733 games with 227 goals, 239 helpers, and 466 total points. In those 11 years in the National, he has scored 20 plus goals 7 times, only 4 times in the National Hockey League. All basically in his first few years in the National Hockey League with the LA Kings, he has compiled 20 plus goals. Tyler Toffoli is as pure of a goal scorer as you're going to find in the National Hockey League. Now look, Tyler Toffoli is 31 years old, so you're going to get at least 4 or 5 solid years left in the tank from him. He's not on the decline. In fact, last year he had a career high season. By the way, Tyler Toffoli being 31 would provide an additional veteran top 6 presence to an otherwise very young top 6 in Ottawa. Of course, Claude Giroux is a veteran, former captain, probably a Hall of Famer, so you have a lot of experience there, but that's on the first line with Tkachuk and Stützle. But for the second line, Batherson and Norris, both very young, both have never played playoff hockey. Tyler Toffoli can be the veteran presence on that second line. Speaking of that second line, can you imagine the second line of Tyler Toffoli, Josh Norris, and Drake Batherson? Oh baby, that would be dirty. If Toffoli comes to Ottawa, we would fully have to call that second line the Bath line, and not because of Drake Batherson, but because that line with Norris and Batherson and Toffoli would be so disgusting in the best way possible. They'd be scoring so many goals and highlight reel goals at that you would just have to take so many baths while watching them. So that second line has the potential to be a great, filler there for, Ottawa, especially with Alex DeBrincat out the door. Tyler Toffoli can step right in and provide adequate offense and probably even same level type offense that Alex DeBrincat was bringing to Ottawa last year. Just imagine a second line right now of Drake Batherson along the boards distributing the puck. He's a very, very nifty puck handler, so he'd be great along the boards. Josh Norris commanding the middle of the ice. He's great in the face-off circle as well, so he can definitely win a lot of the draws to help Ottawa get some sustained zone pressure. But of course, he's a strong player through the middle as well and in front of the net. And by the way, if Batherson and Norris are finding somebody, it's going to be Tyler Toffoli waiting all alone to snipe a shot. It's a perfect second line. You got a playmaker, a good, strong player through the middle, and of course a winger who can snipe the puck at any angle. So that second line would provide a lot of offense on top of Ottawa's first line that of course will already provide a lot of offense. By the way, all three players on that projected first line, Giroux, Tkachuk, and Stützle, 30-plus goal scorers. So Tyler Toffoli would fit in perfectly on that second line. By the way, like I just mentioned, Toffoli had a career season last year. Last season in 82 games, he played all of the games with Calgary. He scored 34 goals, 39 assists for 73 total points. Only 10 of those 34 goals were on the power play, so 24 goals 5-on-5 is very, very good, especially for a team like Calgary that missed the playoffs. So I think that's very encouraging for me. But more importantly, Tyler Toffoli has 10 power play goals as well. He could score power play goals too, and he likely wouldn't even be on the first power play unit. He would be on the second power play unit, so it would be good to have a guy like Tyler Toffoli on your second wave of the power play that could put the puck in the back of the net at least 10 times per year, like he did last year, but as well be able to score 5-on-5. He's a player that can really play in all positions and score in all positions. So it's clear that he would be a perfect fit for the Ottawa Senators, but what would it cost? Well, Bruce Garriock has been mentioning for a while that in an Alex DeBrincat trade, that trade, Ottawa should probably command at least a first-round pick, plus more in a potential Alex DeBrincat trade. Would you be comfortable flipping the first we acquire for Alex DeBrincat to get Tyler Toffoli? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below right now. Pause the video, write what you think in the comment section down below, and I will absolutely respond like I always do. Really looking forward to hear what you guys have to say down below. But here's what I would personally say. I would do this personally for two reasons. One, I believe we'll get more assets than just a first and a potential sign and trade for Alex DeBrincat. Two, Toffoli fills an immediate need and keeps this team right here and right now competitive now. He's also played ample penalty kill time on the Flames, making him a valuable player in all situations. Like I was just saying like a minute ago about Tyler Toffoli scoring 24 5-on-5 goals and 10 power play goals. Toffoli, of course, can score in all situations, but as well defensively, he can play in all situations, and that's very valuable for Ottawa. Tim Stützle is another player in the top six that plays in both positions, power play and, of course, on the penalty kill. And having another top six player that can play both positions is huge, especially late in the game, for example. If Ottawa's up by a goal in the last couple minutes, you can throw a guy like Tyler Toffoli on the ice, kill those 2 minutes, get the win. He's a veteran guy. He can even score potentially in that last 2 minutes as well. He's a well-rounded player. You love to see that for any team, especially for Ottawa. And you know that DJ Smith, if he's the coach next year in Ottawa, wants a reliable, well-rounded player, and that's exactly what Tyler Toffoli is if he's brought in to Ottawa. Now here's the only issue. He's got 1 year remaining on his contract, like I mentioned earlier in this video, at $4.25 million per year. So for 1 year left on this current contract, Toffoli's making $4.25 million before hitting free agency after next season. Would the Sens be able to extend him, or would they be in the same exact spot they find themselves currently with Alex DeBrincat? That's the question. You don't want to trade Alex DeBrincat, use the assets you acquired for the Meow Man, acquire another player, and find yourself in the exact same situation. So that's the question, in my opinion, the biggest one, or the most pressing one, that's making me wonder whether or not Ottawa should even consider this. Would Tyler Toffoli sign in Ottawa? Well, let's take a look at that, because look, considering his roots in Ottawa, he played 4 seasons in the OHL with the Ottawa 67s, plus he's trained in Ottawa before with Claude Giroux during the offseason in the past year in Ottawa. He's trained here in Ottawa, he's lived here in Ottawa, he's played here in Ottawa, and his closeness to the family here in Ottawa would be huge too. He comes from Scarborough, Ontario. His family lives in the GTA. This, of course, would be huge for Tyler Toffoli. I can only imagine. Obviously, Ottawa's not Toronto or Scarborough, but it's less than a 6-hour drive from Scarborough or Toronto. This is very close for him. He'd be very close to family, and at 31 years old, I'm sure Tyler Toffoli, in the latter half of his career, wouldn't mind playing a few seasons, especially in his prime, close to family in his home country of Canada. But on top of all that, Tyler Toffoli as well will be joining an up-and-coming club. So the fact that he's come back to Ottawa before, he's trained here in the offseason, he's played here before with the Ottawa 67s of the OHL, and he has family close to here in Ontario, and he's a Canadian as well. I'm sure he wants to come back to Canada. He's played in Calgary, he's played in Montreal. He clearly doesn't have an issue playing in Canada. Vancouver as well, by the way. He's played 3 out of his 4 teams in the National Hockey League have been in Canada. So there's no issue with him about whether or not he wants to play in Canada. We all know he would not mind whatsoever playing in Canada. So with all that in mind, I think the Sens could absolutely keep Tyler Toffoli around, and at a cheaper and shorter term rate than DeBrincat at that. However, Pierre Dorion, of course, would have to do his due diligence on this before pulling the trigger. You can't trade for Tyler Toffoli without knowing he's interested in extending for a few years here in Ottawa. Otherwise, like I've just mentioned, you're going to get into the exact same situation as you have already with Alex DeBrincat, which frankly makes no sense. If Toffoli's not interested in extending in Ottawa, don't even consider the trade, of course. So I think with all that in mind, look, he's trained here before, he's played here before, he's got family around here. I think we'd be able to sign Tyler Toffoli to at least a 3-year bridge contract at $6.5 to $7 million per year. This would be a $2+ million increase for Toffoli and would give Ottawa 4 years of prime Toffoli, assuming we traded for him in the next few days. This, in my opinion, seems like a fair deal for both sides. Calgary, they get a first-round asset for arguably their best player from last year. Toffoli gets a nice little payday and a bit of a contract with some term. And Ottawa gets a player in Tyler Toffoli who fits the system, can play in all situations, and can absolutely be a fill-in right away in the top 6 that can score 30+ goals potentially. So in my opinion, this is the perfect player for Ottawa to acquire. Calgary, just like Ottawa, some could say with Alex DeBrincat, doesn't have much leverage with Tyler Toffoli. This is a prime candidate for the Ottawa Senators to target. Because once again, I'm sure many of you guys would agree, I love it Oliver Bonk. I like all these prospects in the draft, but I want players for the National Hockey League roster now to replace, or meow I should say, to replace Alex DeBrincat. So Tyler Toffoli, in my opinion, is a great player to do so, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As always, I look forward to responding and debating in the comments as always. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate your support. I'll see you on Tuesday for our Senator draft preview video. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all soon. Go Sens, go.